Okay, Jermaine, I think we can go ahead and start. Still have some people joining, but I think majority have joined. So welcome everyone to our, I think our fourth or fifth webinar now of our series on the management of mood, anxiety and depression, including SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And it's going to be hosted today by myself, Joel Goodrell, and Jermaine Harris. So I'm the founder of MindUp, who many of you know about. It's providing live one-to-one video sessions across the mental health spectrum. And these webinars are part of our monthly series that we do each and every month. And you can see more info on mindup.com/events. And I'm also a qualified mindfulness practitioner and life coach. I only qualified recently last year off the back of my own mental health journey. And I'm going to be sharing more of the details on all of that in the next couple of slides. And we also have Jermaine Harris, who's also my life coach. Jermaine, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, brother. What an absolute privilege it is to be on another one of these webinars and have these wonderful conversations.
Perfect. And Jermaine, do you want to give some background into how long you've been doing life coaching for and all the specialisms that you have?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've been a life and performance coach now for 9 years. And the real love of psychology started with my degree, a master's degree, accredited by the British Psychological Society. And it was then really where I fell in love with the idea of supporting people as they reduce anxieties. I wrote a published anxiety reduction thesis, specifically in helping golfers reduce their anxiety. And that led to me moving into building confidence, motivation, mood enhancement, and that type of thing. And I've been lucky enough over the last 9 years to work with celebrities, rock stars, elite athletes, stay-at-home parents, CEOs of companies, business teams, people from across the spectrum. And this has only further deepened my love for life and performance coaching and supporting people. And that then grew into me being lucky enough to share my life and performance ideas as a public speaker around the world, all around the UK. I'm one of the most prominent empowerment trainers within the care sector in the UK, as well as traveling to the US, South Africa, and Barcelona last year as well. Obviously, 2020 has put a few of those things on hold, and we've all had different new challenges to face. And Joel, this MindUp platform that you've created, and being one of the head coaches, head facilitators on the platform, especially during 2020, as there's been this enhanced need for what you've provided, has just been absolutely beautiful.
Thanks very much, Train, and great to have you as well. And we're going to keep the webinar quite interactive too, so we'll be asking lots of questions throughout, and feel free to post any questions in the chat box you can see available. We can answer those, and we'll also have an opportunity for a Q&A at the end of the webinar too. But moving on to the next slide, I'm going to share my story with you about some of the mental health journey that I've been through. Seeing as it's World Mental Health Day, I thought it'd be appropriate to share that to see if it can, help anyone that's kind of been in my situation before. But then it also really ties into why I started MindUp and how I met Jermaine as well. So it all dates back actually to November 2018, where I was suddenly rushed to hospital for the first time in my life. And it started off an 8-month journey of an undiagnosed health condition. And it was a physical illness, but it had a sort of a very big toll on my life. And it affected me enormously. I couldn't go out and see my friends. I was bedbound for a lot of the time. I couldn't even go out to work most days. And that actually started to have its toll on my mental health. And I actually, over a period of time, developed some depression, and it started to become sustained depression. And I didn't actually know about all the different avenues of mental health, where to kind of go to. I was working in a large corporate company at the time myself, but I didn't want to go through our occupational health and all that kind of stuff, because there were a lot of barriers to entry in the organization that I had to go through HR, my manager, and kept having to relive my story. So I actually reached out to counseling privately, and I had my first session there, and I didn't actually feel like it helped me enormously. And after that, I came away and I did feel quite lost with the whole process. And I didn't really know where to turn to at that time. And I was still struggling enormously. And I actually then, after weeks of research online, found life coaching, and I wanted to give it a go. But then I had the challenge of finding a really good life coach online. And after weeks of research, I actually came across Jermaine's profile. We set up an initial call and we just connected really well. And we then arranged for me to go on his program. And he's been life coaching me now ever since February 2019. Even to date, we still have sessions every few weeks. And that's one of the reasons I then went on in April 2019 to start MindUp. And I also qualified as a life coach and mindfulness practitioner, so then I could give back to people as well that were struggling. And Jermaine, it'd be good to obviously get your perspective on that all, and the journey that we both went through.
Yeah, well, it always makes the emotion rise within me, Joel, when to think that I've supported even just 0.5% of this incredible journey that you're on, and now this vision that you've got for supporting many others. So thank you for even acknowledging me as part of that. But when I connected with you, and you used the word connected, part of my core philosophy, my core belief, and I mentioned it when I talked about all of the different types of people that I've coached over the years, from stay-at-home parents to CEOs to business teams to elite athletes, rock stars, and then connecting with you was no different. And my core philosophy I noticed within you, and that is that every single person on this call, every single human being has got that ability to unlock some of the great things within them. But the build-up of mental challenges, psychological challenges, that can bury all of that greatness. And sometimes that's where I believe some of the low mood comes from, when we feel like we're not actually operating to our maximum potential. And I really noticed that within you, Joel. And some of the coaching that we went through, some of the techniques that I shared with you and shared with so many people, you really went for it. And that's the thing. It's not about me, Jermaine, being so great. It's about you as the individual being great. You implemented the ideas, and you know, the rest is history. You know, you've continued to grow, and your dedication to growth and your dedication to supporting other people inspires me every day as well.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Jermaine. Yeah, no, and that's why this whole thing is why I created MindUp. And for those of you who don't know what MindUp is stopping that one-size-fits-all approach to mental health by offering live one-to-one video, everything from the clinical side, therapy and counselling, all the way through to life and career coaching. And there's been a lot of academic research that has come out recently to show that a range of solutions is required for effective treatment. And that's why it's really important to try different solutions, try therapy, try counselling, try mindfulness, try career executive coaching, and see what best suits you. And that's the whole kind of philosophy of my story, the academic research, and the whole company as well. And seeing as it is World Mental Health Day, I thought it'd be kind of really relevant to touch on the most important factors as to why you look after your mental health. And we've seen a lot of statistics over the years, with 1 in 6 people in the UK experiencing a mental health issue each week. And what's even more shocking to see is 75% of those are not receiving treatment. And that's in the UK alone. But looking at actually the US and more globally, the coronavirus outbreak has caused a massive strain on people's mental health. And we've seen clinical anxiety increase by over 30% in Q1 of 2020 alone. And one of the highlights of today's session that we're going to look at as we move into winter is seasonal affective disorder. And that's a type of the depression that comes and goes as we see seasonal pattern changes. And Jermaine, have you experienced this kind of stuff with your client base or yourself or people that you know?
Yeah, well, and it's in my local area. I live in South Wales. What's really interesting is I start to see people experiencing these symptoms a little bit earlier on because of the way the weather moves here in South Wales. The clouds come in, the rain come in, and as the nights draw in and nighttime starts sooner, then those seasonal affective disorder symptoms I see in my local area really start to increase. And then, of course, everyone in the northern hemisphere as well. And you know, there's no concrete theories as to why, but as of course the less exposure to sunlight